Mike Mason, a huge Metallica fan. Great job by James and Kirk. And hey, the commentators, we're here. Cameron Steele, that's me. Next to me, my good buddy Tess Sewell. Christy Lee will be bringing you everything from down alongside the track. And Speed and Style, what is it? Well, it's head-to-head competition where they race and do freestyle, and we're getting started with the quarterfinals.
And some amazing head-to-head racing coming up. McNeil versus Mason. Mason is the current gold medalist in this discipline. He is very, very hard to beat. I wonder if Jared McNeil can bring it to him, but Nate Adams, qualifying #1 in seeding, and he put up an absolutely massive style score for his trick. So, like you said though, I think Mike Mason is still shaking from seeing the real Metallic in the flesh in front of him.
30-second board is sideways, we're going racing. There will be 4 ramp hits. The blue and red gear, that's Mike Mason, the perennial favorite. Jared McNeil from Australia on the blue bike controls the first corner.
And these guys have sliced and diced before, but Mike Mason is a specialist at small racetracks. He races a lot of arena cross, so he knows how to race these tight tracks. Impressed though at how McNeil is keeping the distance on him.
Of course, Mason was the fastest when it came to qualifying session, but he didn't have the biggest scores on tricks. That, of course, was something that Nate Adams and Jones had him on. And you can see they have to check up just a little bit going into the ramp because they're carrying so much speed test. Let's talk about this. Mason needs to make a move here and get something done. White flags, so 2 more times off the ramp that counts, and oh!
And you saw there Mike Mason actually went a little bit long on what looked like his underflip. Now the thing here, the key is that when you are behind the racer that wins, there is a deduction on your score. So the guy that wins, in this case Jared McNeil, he will get a 50-point score.
If he can hold on to it, does Mace get a little crazy here at the end? It doesn't look like it. It looks like McNeil's got it covered.
I think Mason is confident with his style score that he's going to be able to beat McNeil with style. So McNeil gets 50 points for speed, and we'll see Mason is only 0.4 behind, and there the style.
I don't know about.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised the style is that low for Mason.
I mean, could we have an upset right out of the gate? Mason, perennial favorite as we talked about. He has 4 gold medals in this discipline.
And look at that, McNeil, great line, just cut Mason off, and that meant he made both corners perfectly. Now you see the big heel clicker flip.
It's interesting, they both did the same trick off that ramp. Taking a look at this, underflip by Mason. Wow, that was beautiful.
That was incredible.
From onboard.
There's so many directions of travel going on in that trick. I mean, just wild to see. Watch, look at that. The bike perpendicular to the direction of travel, so it's basically fully sideways. That's a great underflip.
So, the scores come in. Mason with the nod, but not by much over McNeil.
Yeah. Small style score for Mason. I'm really surprised. I thought his tricks were at least big enough to get him into the, the high 30s there, but all he wants is to advance, and he got it.
Great onboard from GoPro. That was just amazing on the underflip. So hey, Travis Pastrana getting it kicked off.
All right, let's go. This guy will ride or race just about anything, and tomorrow he's in X Games truck racing alongside Mr. Rusty Wallace. So that's going to be an interesting matchup.
Tomorrow at noon Eastern, in fact, on ESPN, a brand new X Games event, skateboard and BMX Big Air doubles. Then at 2 on ABC, NASCAR legend Rusty Wallace makes his X Games debut in off-road truck racing, plus Monster Energy Skateboard Street and Toyota Moto X quarter pipe finals. X Games Austin continues tomorrow. And hey, it continues right now, and I will tell you for sure, if you want to see something incredible, tomorrow's quarter pipe competition will make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. All right, Tess, I'm interested to see your thoughts here on this matchup. Obviously, Bilko, a name we're very familiar with, that's Blake Williams.
Yeah, Blake Williams in the very bright outfit there. And next to him, the Japanese rider, Genki Watanabe. It'll be interesting to see what Genki can bring to X Games.
Let's get more on Bilko from Christy.
Thanks, Cameron. Blake Williams struggled with the hot temperatures last year here in Austin, especially coming from the winter months back home in Australia. He felt it affected his performance enough to come out early this year, 10 days early, in fact, to get more acclimated to the heat. Guys?
Thank you for that. And let's not forget McNeil, who we just saw go out, was the bronze medalist last year. Now we have our silver medalist in Bilko. And Genki Watanabe is more of an unknown to the world. We haven't seen a lot of him. First X Games appearance.
He is. He looked pretty fast today. He definitely has some big tricks, but I gotta say, Bilko's training here in the heat has paid off. He looked very fluid today.
And he's on the inside line going into the first turn. He controls, but look at this. Watanabe trying to race him around the outside. And here he comes.
Oh, and he's got the line on. Oh,
he goes down.
Slides out.
So Watanabe obviously on the green bike at 360 from Bilko. Blake Williams, one of those cards in the community. He is funny. He is a cut up today during practice. The stands were closed. There was one security guard in the stands, and Bilko went out and saluted him after his run. It was really cool to see that Blake always has a great attitude.
And such a fantastic entertainer, but this is not the debut that Genki Watanabe was looking for. So he's going to have an awful big margin to try and make up. And a guy that pulls big 360s like that, he was trying the 360 knockout where he was going to sweep that right leg across. He didn't quite get it.
Let's really quickly test for everybody at home as Watanabe goes over the back. Bilko looking back. Can you explain to us one more time, not the format of the head-to-head racing? I think everybody gets that. Let's talk a little bit about the scoring and how you advance again.
So when you go around this track, there are 4 hits. When you go over the finish line, the last hit, the 5th one, does not count. The first guy across the finish line will get a total of 50 points for his speed. That's the speed portion. That one didn't count, folks. And then the judges will score you on style. Now your speed differential, so how many seconds between the first guy and the second guy, well, that's deducted from 50. So it sounds like complex math, but it all works out in the end. And I don't think there's any doubt in this one that Williams is going to be the guy that advances, since I don't think Genki's actually over the line yet.
The good news is that you're not going to have to count on the math from a guy from San Antonio, me. You're going to get to count on the computers, and we'll be able to give you that information as we move along. This one's very easy to see. Watanabe way off the pace, having some problems in his X Games debut. Bilko will move on to the semis. Let's take a look, Tess. What happened? It looked like a little bit of marbles on the track got him.
Well, you can see this loose material that's on the track, and you know, I didn't see there's no contact problems there. Here we go.
Watanabe definitely was bringing it.
Just
he was
wide,
trying to make it count. I think what he was thinking, it seemed almost like he thought he was up into the berm, and he wasn't. He was on the flat.
And the race line was the inside line there, and he went a little bit wide. That's where all the marbles were. But look at this 360 from Blake Bilko Williams.
Sometimes I think the 360s aren't scored as well as they should be, and by testimony of how tough they are, there's still very few freestyle riders doing 360s. Bilko moves on. He will be in the semis when we return, and of course, we'll see Nate Adams, Adam Jones, and the rest of the quarterfinals when we come back to Austin, where things are not only big, but going big.
X Games.
Good times we're all having. The fans have been pouring in all day. It has been just an epic day in Austin here at the Circuit of the Americas. And we are having a great comp here. Tess, what do you think's developing so far with the speed and style?
Well, I think interestingly tonight, the speed is not as big a factor as the style. And look at this, when you're running a race, it's not typical to have to brake, but here there's a setup zone right before the ramp where you have to slow yourself down so you don't overshoot that landing. If you just ran straight at it at full speed, you would literally land way, way past the landing in the flats.
At least twice as far as the jump, I would say. Adam Jones and Bo Bamberg, a couple of great riders. Adam Jones, of course, very decorated when it comes to medals. 6, in fact, X Games medals, but nothing in speed and style.
Well, the interesting thing here, Bamberg is a little bit faster on the track, but Jones had a much, much bigger style score in seating. He was actually 13 points ahead of Bo Bamberg. And he's riding that 2-stroke bike. Most of the guys are on 4 strokes, which I would argue is better for racing this track. but that two-stroke bike he's used to doing freestyle on, and I think it's a big benefit for him.
30-second forward is sideways. Bamberg on the red bike, the white gear. Adam Jones controls from the inside. Living in
nice
Reno.
Yeah. Jones.
Nice job for Jones there. We'll see how it plays out right here as they head into the first ramp. They're going to be side by side almost. And whoa!
That was close.
Was that an optical illusion or did it roll?
I really think it was that close. Great racing though from Jones. He hasn't had a lot of time to practice. He's been doing competitions. He's been on the road with the Nitro Circus Tour. So he hasn't been able to put in the moto laps. But honestly, it's not showing right now. He is doing a great ride.
Something interesting also to mention, when you ride freestyle motocross, you only hear your bike. In this case, you're hearing two bikes. Sometimes it could get confusing for the rider. And Bamberg with no trick that time as he passes.
And went long.
Jones. He did go long, but he now controls the track. And Jones looked like he was working on his flip bars there for a second.
So Bamberg obviously now has decided just to try and put a bit of a gap on Jones. He knows he's not going to beat him in the style category. So he's hoping to get a big enough gap, but I don't think Jones is going to let off. And the trick he did on that ramp, again, big right side up tricks. He's got the big upside down trick. So he's got the full package in freestyle. And let's see how far he's going to be behind Bo Bamberg.
You know, I think that Bamberg held back on his earlier whip because, maybe he thought he could hit Adam Jones. I mean, they were very close together. Again, it could have been an optical illusion. We'll take another look at it.
And only a 2-second margin in speed, but the style for Jones is huge.
Check this out from the helicopter. How close were they? They were
real
close. Oh man, only at X Games.
There used to be a discipline called freestyle doubles, where you do this stuff right next to each other, but this wasn't supposed to be a doubles run, and Bo Bamberg, I think, held that whip back for fear that back tire was actually going to contact Adam Jones.
Bamberg looking at him. What about that right?
Rigor mortis. Oh, that's incredible. Adam Jones does that trick so unbelievably well.
There's a reason why Adam Jones has so many X Games medals, but he's looking for his first here. The clear-cut winner will be Jones, and Bo Bamberg will head out. So moving on to the semis will be Adam Jones. Hey, on Sunday night, National League rivals square off. That's right, the Cardinals and the Dodgers. I'm a West Coast guy, so I'm going Dodgers on this one. But hey, Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, and watch ESPN. I was going to ask you who you thought was going to win that game, but I'm going to ask you instead, Tess, what's your favorite Metallica song?
Well, I absolutely love singing karaoke with Enter Sandman.
Now, if you haven't seen Tess's karaoke stunt work, you have to check it out. My favorite Metallica song? Maybe Harvester of Sorrow. I'm a big fan of the And Justice for All album as we take a look at our last quarterfinal coming to the gate. Nate Adams and Lance Corey. Now, both have gold medals in this discipline. Obviously, Nate Adams with a couple of them. He's a very decorated rider. He's the most decorated rider in X Games history for freestyle motocross only, if I'm not mistaken. Lance Corey, though, has won the gold medal before, but he's coming in a little wounded here.
A little beat up. He won the gold in Foz do Iguaçu, Brazil, but he tore all of his ligaments, basically. MCL, I see. He's like, I've torn every ligament in my left knee. So he is riding with a brace only on one knee, which is it's kind of a little bit weird to ride with a single brace. And he's going to give it a go, though. I mean, he's giving it a brave run against Nate Adams because Nate was so dominating, the #1 qualifier coming into this.
And from Nate's helmet, the GoPro, and we'll see if Lance has anything for Nate.
The interesting thing about Lance, very industrious off the bike. He has Moto his company, and a new company called Thrashin'. He does Harley parts.
And Nate, the entrepreneur as well, with his own deft glove line. And you know, I like to see that the guys are looking at the future after they're done riding and promoting it along the way.
Wow, what a huge 360 knack. Oh, you saw how long Lance Corey went there. That had to be a very hard and painful landing. And the other thing I got to point out, a lot of left turns in this course, and that's when Lance has to put out that left leg to brace himself.
And also a solid note to throw in there. Nate Adams, of course, has had some aspirations to race Supercross. He did go out and train. He actually got hurt, if I'm not mistaken, at the practice of the Supercross. I have to check my facts as the white flag comes out.
Well, Nate really has backed up a bit from the freestyle scene because he injured the axial nerve in his shoulder, and that caused him to lose a lot of the muscle tone. And a lot of the tricks you do in freestyle really rely on you wrenching on your shoulders. But it's nice to see Nate just going so big here in Austin.
And I think when we get further into the rounds, we get a little bit tighter competition with the underflip, Tess?
I don't think it was an under. I think he was actually going for a 360 there.
Sometimes it's really hard to tell, even from what I would call the expert commentary.
Right. I mean, you know, and some of there's such a slight margin. The underflip actually also looks like a whip flip, but it's the way you roll your shoulders under that tells you the underflip. So it's kind of, it sounds a bit complex.
And I use the word expert loosely, by the way. Nate Adams bringing it home. He's claiming it, and I see no reason why not. He won the race, and of course, he far out-tricked Corey. So let's take a look at his first trick, Tess.
Absolutely massive. 360, how flat the bike is, and very committed. The knack-knack, you sweep the right leg across the seat. That was 120%, and I love this GoPro on board. Whoa.
So ridiculous. It's a couple 100 pounds of dirt bike rotating around, in case you're wondering.
Look at his head leading him around. He sights the landing.
And now that you see the replay, that definitely was a 360, the second one that we saw.
So Nate will take it. Huge score differential. Look at that.
I'm excited to see the semifinal matchups now, because I think we got the solid hitters, pretty much what we thought was going to happen. But Mason versus Bilko, Jones and Adams. This is going to be good. When we return, the semis, and then of course we will be giving away a gold medal before we're done here at Moto X Speed and Style. The crowd is... All right, we are back in Austin, Texas. This is Josh Sheehan, and he is a mad dog when it comes to dirt biking. We are still here at Speed and Style, but tomorrow, a very anticipated competition known as quarter pipe. Let's take a look at what Josh has been working on. Tess, well, what do you say, really?
Josh went to Travis Pastrana's house and actually perfected a trick Travis had been working on. Not one, not two, 3 backflips on a 200+ pound dirt bike. Absolutely amazing that he could do this.
Unbelievable. I mean, from those of us that ride dirt bikes, I can tell you, look at this
Sky,
POV.
ground, sky, ground, sky, ground. Whoa. Finally you land.
Absolute shocker, breaking down the boundaries. I remember it wasn't that long ago when we said you couldn't even do a backflip. Let's get it down to Christy, who's with Josh.
Thanks, Cameron. Josh, one of only 4 riders to nail a double backflip, now the only rider to successfully land a triple backflip. When can we expect to see some moves like this here at X Games?
Yeah, that's a tough one. People say, when are we going to see it again? And that's hard enough. Like, just that one trick, I was about 30 meters off the ground. I don't really want to do that one again, but maybe if we work on a smaller ramp, safer setup, and some more airbag landings or safer landings, then maybe I'll throw some more.
And what's in store for competition tomorrow with the best whip and quarter pipe?
All right, so best whip, that'll be a bit of fun. Hopefully I can get a few big ones out. Quarter pipe, that'll be interesting. It's new, and it's fairly new in the whole freestyle motocross. Sorry, Adam. But yeah, we've got some massive tricks there. It's one guy, Tom's doing a couple of tricks that no one else can do, and it's crazy. It amazes everyone, even us riders, and we've all got reasonably new tricks there, and it's going to be tough for everyone. So hope everyone enjoys it. It's going to be a good one.
Josh, great to have you here tonight, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
Love you, Sheeny.
Triple. Welcome back to X Games here in Austin, and guess what? We are ready for the semifinals of Speed and Style. Before we get to the semifinals, let's see how these two riders, Jones and Williams, got here, courtesy of the Fram Cam. Now, Tess, This was interesting. Obviously, Watanabe was very aggressive, but it came back to bite him.
Janky just going on the wrong line there, got in the marbles, went down, and that just allowed Bilko to run away with this one. Then Adam Jones against his friend Bo Bamberg, and they were really friendly on this jump. Check out how close they get. But really, Jones just simply out-tricked Bo, and Adam Jones advanced through to that semi.
Proof that you don't have to win the racing to win your bracket. That's why it's called speed and style, because you have to be proficient in both. So the first semifinal, Adam Jones and Blake Williams. The second semi, Nate Adams and Mike Mason. All right, Tess, I got to ask you, Jones or Williams in this one? I mean, both are great trick riders. Obviously, you know, what about the racing aspect for these two?
I think that Bilko is faster on that bike, but Jones has been impressive for how little practice he has had on that two-stroke bike. He really did look good until Bo really put the gas on.
Red gear, Adam Jones on the inside. He stumbles at the starting gate. He's not able to control the inside. Bilko shuts the door on him. So Blake Williams from Australia, the first rider to ever win a gold medal in freestyle that wasn't from the United States, the first international rider. He goes with the 360. Oh, it almost looked like Adam Jones had a little bit of a scare there, the way he got his legs back on, but a good backflip.
It was a big Shaolin flip that he did, though, so I think Jones may just sit behind Bilko and hope to better him in the tricks. Maybe do them cleaner, hold them a little bit longer.
As we said, you got to be proficient in both. If I was going to pick a discipline these guys were proficient in, they're both gold medalists in freestyle. It's something that not a lot of people can say.
One thing I will point out is that the judges have rewarded the 360s quite well. We saw that definitely with Adams. You saw a big one-handed 360 there from Blake Williams.
What did Adam Jones do there?
Adam Jones did the rigor mortis, so basically putting your feet straight up above the bike. It's almost impossible to do, and considering Adam Jones had shoulder surgery, I can't believe he can actually do that trick.
Good combinations there. The judges are watching closely, and repeating tricks are not a good thing for sure. They want to see variations. And Bilko decides not to hit the ramp. You don't have to hit it if you don't want to, but he was trying to get as much as going as quick as possible to get the best time space.
He wanted all the speed he could, so then he passed the finish line, dodged out of the ramp, because if he hit it at that speed, well, he'd practically land in the rider's pits. So
and for reference, that's about 250 feet away. Let's take another look, Tess. Right at the start, a bit of a stumble for Adam Jones.
And Bilko just guards that line. He's not going to let Jones through. And, you know, this one, I think, is going to come down to a very small margin because they both did such good tricks. Look at this rock solid from Blake Bilko Williams. And there, that huge one-handed 360, and I like the way he held the hand out a long time to claim it.
And the extension that Adam Jones gets is just ridiculous. Nice combo flip.
An Indian air to heel clicker flip. Oh, check this out.
Oh.
Wasn't enough for Jones to do the tricks. Blake Williams is going through to the final with a 0.2 margin, and that's all it took in the speed, I guess.
That extra speed, the difference maker possibly. As he will move on, we'll find out who will meet him in the final when we return, as we get Mason and Nate Adams on the gate and go racing. Unbelievable action so far, and more to come tonight here in Austin. Of course, the BMX Big Air will also be later on, and we can't wait for Metallica.
Everyone to speed and style.
This is Mike Mason's first ever gold medal.
Big surprise, Mike Mason crosses first, so he's got it. Gold medal, folks. Mike Mason takes his fourth gold in speed and style and X Games. Mike Mason dominates at this event.
Welcome back to Austin. Hey, Mike Mason has won 4 of the last 6 gold medals in speed and style. Well, he's only at 5 of the events, and right now, Christy is down with him at the starting gate.
Mike, you've won 4 out of the past 6 gold medals. What's in store tonight? Any tricks up your sleeve?
I wish I had a good answer for you, but I think I got my hands full on this one. Nate's been riding great all day, and I struggled through qualifying. So I just want to go out there. You know, I can trust Nate. We have good races all the time, and go out there and have some fun, put on a show for this crowd, and go from there.
And how about Metallica opening the event tonight? Heard you're a really big fan. Did that get you extra pumped up?
Well, I'm going to let you know that at the start of this event, Hetfield played the national anthem, walked by me, gave me his pick. So if I end up winning this thing for some reason, Hetfield's my new best friend. Good luck, Charm.
Mike Mason, ready to go. Best of luck.
All right, there you have it. And Metallica playing at the end of the night here. You'll be able to watch it on ESPN 3. Speaking of 3, how about some 360s from Nate Adams? This is a stack. This is very stacked right here. Let's break it down. Nate Adams and Mike Mason.
Nate Adams has the speed, but bigger than that, he's got the massive 360s that we know the judges love. Mike Mason, he is the master on small, tight tracks, so he's got the racing speed, got some big tricks too. Let's not forget that. This is going to be a tough one to call.
On the inside, on the white jersey, that is Nate Adams. He controls the inside. We'll see if Mason can get the jump on him.
Nice start for Mason.
Mason gets him around the outside. He's going to be first onto the main track. And Mason does have the speed, arena cross in his background.
And I think Nate doesn't like to push right at the start because he's going to pull on juice 3 right there, knack 3, so he doesn't want to be going too fast into that ramp.
You can see some marbles on the track from Nate's GoPro. It's a little bit loose out there. They have to be careful racing too hard into the turns. And a little overjump there from Mason, but he controls it as they head into the next ramp. Right side up trick. Mason. I didn't think that Nate got all of that.
No, it's kind of interesting. And he's actually dropping back quite a bit too, so this is good news for Mike Mason. Nice underflip there. You saw the shoulders move. I love watching that trick, and so few riders can pull it the way Mike Mason does it. Most of them just end up whip flipping. That was a beautiful underflip.
Curtas and Mace really on his game right now.
Gap here. This is a big surprise because Nate Adams is a fast racer.
Big tricks from both of them all the way
there.
around. Good 360 from Nate. We'll see what the time differential is. It's going to be tight, but a little bit of breathing room for Mace. And the scores are in. It's not official yet, but it looks like it's going to be Nate Adams due to the trick capabilities.
Well,
let's take another look.
We said the judges absolutely love these 360s. So that's the first one. He gets every bit of that 360 knack.
And we should point out that Nate is able to go both directions on the 360.
But look at this. Watch the shoulders move as he brings the bike around on the underflip. But Nate, 2 of those tricks, I am going to argue, Nate did not fully execute. It wasn't a great lazy boy, and it was kind of a, you know, his no-hand or cliffhanger flip there.
I agree.
I'm not dogging Nate Adams. He is a phenomenal
you can
rider.
dog him a little bit.
But to have such a big differential in the style score is actually kind of surprising. So the judges are reviewing this right now, and it absolutely, yeah, it's a huge differential. It's a 4-point differential in style, which is big.
Especially when we talked about Nate didn't have full extension. Mace had some big tricks too, but let's talk about how big some of those tricks the flip tricks are that Nate is doing.
Well, you know, when he does those tricks, and what people don't understand about the 360 is you're spinning around the horizontal plane, and if something goes wrong, the margin is so small. When the tires go down, if you over-rotate or under-rotate, it doesn't end well.
Well, maybe the judges are re-looking at it. Hey, the NBA Finals continue with Game 2 tomorrow. The Warriors won Game 1 in an overtime thriller. LeBron and the Cavs look to even the score. NBA Countdown at 7:30, followed by the Cavs-Warriors Game 2 tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ABC. And the judges' scores are now coming in. Nate Adams moves on, not quite as clear-cut, I think, as the original score. I'd have to refocus, but still.
Big style margin, that's what got it for Adams, even though he was, you know, beaten in the race by Mason.
Lots more action to come. We will have that gold medal matchup in just a wee bit when we return here to Speed and Style in Texas, where the boys are going huge. Right on, we are back, and you can see downtown Austin in the distance from here at Circuit of the Americas, and what a just amazing venue, to say the very least. I know they do some big events here. X Games, one of them, and right now we're going to see this bronze medal matchup. So Tess, I think that definitely some massive tricks to be thrown down in this one.
Well, you know, you've got two friends. Adam Jones lives in Reno, Mike Mason down the road in Carson City. They're wearing identical Fox outfits, which is actually pretty funny. And they are going to be going for the bronze medal, and Adam Jones so far doesn't have a medal in Speed and Style, so I bet he's hungry for that. And I think Adam, as I said, didn't get much practice, probably surprised that he's even getting a chance to run for a medal tonight.
Do you think it'll cushion the blow for Mason that he's not getting the gold tonight, that he'll be able to see Metallica?
You know what? He managed to get that pick from Hetfield. I think he's pretty happy to have met one of his, his idols. And you see, Adam Jones has the hardware. He's got his gold in freestyle, but he'd love to get this Speed and Style medal. Mike Mason, you'll see more of him actually August 22nd, X Games Real Moto. It's a new idea. It's free riding. It's a very, very cool project, and Mason along with AG, Stenberg, Renner, and McElroy, you'll get to see him, so be sure to tune in for that. But this is it, bronze medal run. Wow, Mason was off there.
He was on it right there. He wasn't going to get beat to that first turn if he could avoid it. So Mason on the yellow bike takes the lead. Adam Jones follows. Here comes the first trick ramp. Oh, and Mason mixing it up, the no-handed flip.
Yeah, and big clean tricks from both riders there. And I think they actually moto together at home, so I think there's a lot of confidence in each other. But Adam got washed out there in the corner. You saw the back wheel break away, so that's why he dropped so far back.
Right side up trick, and a Cordova flip for Jones. One thing it looks like to me with Mason is that he changed up his trick maybe because he wanted to get off the off-axis, which might slow him down a little bit. He's trying to get more speed, but here comes the off-axis.
Moves the shoulders, moves the hips, then Adam does that boots in the air rigor mortis trick. Nice advantage for Mike Mason though, look at that. He's got a few seconds for sure, and I think that their style scores might be quite close.
Well, you can see the style scores right now. As we're getting through this last trick, we'll see as they come in.
This is where Adam Jones needs to push, because if he pushes, he gets within a few seconds. But I think he's going to leave it sitting on the table here because he's so far back.
Mike Mason?
Well, maybe not. Let's see what the judges say when it goes official, but this actually might be a medal for Adam Jones.
So the bronze medal match, still have the gold medal to come. We're going to look at the replays the judges are discussing. We have had, a little bit of change in one of them.
Look at this start from Mike Mason. He just blasts out there, using all the torque of that four-stroke motor to get to that corner first and try and block Adam out.
And this was the first trick. Mace changing it up. And wow, Jones with just a Shaolin flip.
And here we go.
Scary.
Underflip. Watch him move his hips and his shoulders to rock to the other side of the bike. That's poetry in motion. I love watching that trick, especially when Mike Mason does it.
I don't mind the heli flying through the background either. It's so many great angles. Now we're going to see.
Movie.
Now let's make it official.
Here we go. Is it going to be a medal for Adam Jones?
No! Mason ends up with the medal after the judges compute and go over it. Mike Mason with the advantage. Wow. Wow.
Like we said, so close, and they both managed to pull those tricks and executed them well. So very hard for the judges. They have to score this thing in a heartbeat, much faster than you would in a freestyle contest. And
some high
Mason
fives
walks
all
away
around
with
there.
it.
Jeremy Stenberg and Tara Geiger. The gold medal match when we return, Blake Williams and Nate Adams. Who's going to walk away with the big hardware? We'll find out when we come back to Austin. We have a gold medal to hand out right now. It's either going to be Blake Williams. Can he be the first international rider to take home a gold medal in speed and style? Or will Nate Adams bring home another gold? He hasn't done it since 2013. For more with Nate, let's get it down to Christy Lee.
Just caught up with Nate moments ago, and he said his plan tonight is to stick to the same tricks and pin it to win it. He says he feels comfortable on the track. The dirt's hard-packed, just like back at home in Phoenix. Guys?
Thank you, Christy. Both riders have 360s tests. What do you think here? I mean, this is a very solid matchup. I would say that overall, Nate has the racing game handled on Blake.
He does, but they do both have those big tricks the judges like. And here's my quote for you. Bikes are full of fuel. The riders have got the fire. Gold medal is that which they desire.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that up.
The thing with this is Bilko, I think, has more consistent tricks.
And we're off. Bilko tries to come from the outside. He's going to try to duck underneath. Right now, Nate Adams, red bike, white jersey. He is controlling, but here comes Blake from the inside.
Nice.
He's going to flex. Nate may have had to check up or change up what he was doing there.
He did just a regular flip in there because remember what I said? Nate does not like being rushed into that ramp.
And he gets pushy with Bilko, and Bilko shows him an elbow, and Nate overjumps, makes a mistake, still tries to come in.
And he tried to drive Bilko high there in the corner.
Nate back to his routine. Bilko a little short on his extension on that flip variation, and now checking up a bit.
Wow, they're really pushing it though, and it's interesting because Nate went a little bit long on the trick there. There's the 3 from Bilko, the 3 knack from Nate.
Well, I saw the leg come off from Bilko as well, and Nate's going to come on and push. Bilko's not going to give up.
How did Bilko stay up there?
Oh, and he goes down.
No way! Blake Williams goes down, and that's pretty much going to hand it to Nate Adams.
With the best extension there, but this is a done deal. Bilko threw in the towel basically as he slid out. He gave it all he had.
And he got in Nate's mind. That's exactly what he wanted to do. Nate wasn't pulling the tricks clean, but eventually that battle was going to leave one of them on the dirt.
The way it was going, the shoulders being thrown, the elbows being up, I love that. That's the kind of racing I like to see. I don't want to see anybody take anyone out per se, but definitely when there's a little bit of back and forth is a good thing, and they kept it fun and relatively clean, but you know there was some huge frustration from Nate Adams. But that's all over now because he has the gold medal.
He does have a gold medal again. This is his 3rd gold medal in speed and style, and Bilko again is the bridesmaid with the silver medal. He's got 2 silvers in this discipline so far.
Three times in a row.
And you know, what's he going to have to do? I mean, he really pushed it here tonight to take Nate Adams and really give him a hard time. And a little rebate for the fans here in the stands at Circuit of the Americas. Great ride, though, from Nate Adams. I mean, he pushed it and pushed enough to put Blake Williams on the dirt.
Now they're putting on a show for the fans. 19th X Games medal from Mr. Adams. It's pretty amazing. This is his 20th X Games appearance. How time flies. Let's take a look at what happened. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of getting into each other, so to speak. And you were right that Bilko barely held that together, but here he kind of threw caution to the wind trying to get underneath.
And I think he was trying to answer there by maybe just drifting up a little into Nate. That was his plan, but you could see here as soon as he hit that brake, just washed out.
And I think at that point, he was probably winded a bit. Great shots from the onboard. Bilko in control earlier. Here comes Nate to the inside.
I mean, Bilko was completely off the track at that point.
All right, there they are. And our gold medalist is Nate Adams, and Christy is there. Christy, what are they talking about down there?
Nate, great bar-to-bar racing until Bilko went down. What was going through your head?
We were just talking about, I don't know how we didn't hit on our first time over the ramp, but Bilko's just a great competitor, and every time we line up, we'd have a great time and a great battle. So I don't know how I won it. I just got a little lucky, I guess, but I gave 100%, and thank God, thank the Lord, first and foremost. And you know, I've had a lot of injuries the last couple of years, so it's a blessing to be able to come out here and represent my own company, Def Family and Monster Energy, DC Shoes, Dragon Motorsports, GoPro, all my homies at GoPro, Pro Taper, Worst Connection. I know I'm forgetting people. I know I'm forgetting HJC Helmets, Alpine Stars, my wife Lindsay, my mom and dad, my brother Josh, Tony Jeske, Jeske MX Customs, Derek Mahoney, Jimmy McGuire, all the homies. If I forgot anyone, I'm sorry.
Nate, thank you so much, and congratulations on X Games Gold.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Here you go, man.
And there you have it. You think Nate Adams is pumped, Tess?
Well, he sounds pumped, as will everybody be that he thanked in that speech there. Mike Mason, though, he comes away with another medal. It's not the one he wanted. And again, the bridesmaid, silver for Blake Williams. He's going to get it one of these days, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Let's get it now over to BMX Big Air, because our buddies Kevin Robinson and Jimmy Coleman are ready to let it fly with all the boys on the massive jump. Big Air.